as previously discussed with you, we talked about so far, no, yung phases of the cell cycle and the cell cycle checkpoints. So again, we have interphase, M phase, and the cytokinesis. And within the interphase, we have the G1, S, and then the G2 phase. And in between these phases, we have the checkpoints. We have the G1 to S, the G2 to M checkpoint, and then the M checkpoint. Now, let me show you for the second part of our discussion. Let me share with you how each phases of the cell cycle varies from one organism to another, as well as the length of time that each subphase or each phase spends. So you can see here for our human cell, for a one complete cell cycle to happen, somehow approximately it takes 18 hours. So makikita natin dito 18 hours. And yung S phase, no, somehow lengthy siya in such a way that we are dealing with our DNA, and DNA replication is very important na ma-preserve yung genomic stability natin, ng cell natin, so that there will be no errors na mamumultiply, which might lead to multiple diseases or syndromes. And makikita natin how yan, yung G1 mas matagal siya compared sa G2. Yun yung green, we have the mitosis, which is very short. That yung pinakamaikli sa lahat, we have the cytokinesis. Now, comparing this to other organisms, we can see here, isang Xenopus embryo. Xenopus is a type of frog. So, you can see here na it only takes few minutes. No? Kaya 30 minutes, approximately 30 minutes. So, S phase pa rin yung pinakamatagal, followed by mitosis and then the cytokinesis. And you can see here na in just a span of 3 hours, there are 6 cell divisions that have occurred already. So, mas mabilis compared sa atin. And yan, so meron tayo dito sea urchin embryo, yeast. And then, yung pinakamabilis in this example, we have the Drosophila. So, Drosophila is a fruit fly. Yun yung mga makikita ninyo kapag nag-iwan kayo ng pagkain, no, na nasa table lang, walang takip. So, yung mga maliliit na parang flies, they are fruit flies. They are Drosophila. And as you can see, it only takes them few minutes para sila ay makapag-divide, no, yung kanilang cells. So, yan, particularly for a Drosophila embryo. So, S phase and then mitosis. So, wala silang cytokinesis na nangyayari, just like with the budding yeast. So, what I'm showing you here is the differences, the variation when it comes to the length of time a phase of the cell cycle spends. You know, magkakaiba yan per organism. Now, going back to our topic, which is still the cell cycle, but now we will focus on the architecture of the control system of the cell cycle itself. No, paano ba natin nire-regulate yung cell cycle with the use of the checkpoints. So, we have 3 again, G1 to S checkpoint, the G2 to M, and then the metaphase checkpoint. So, the cell uses these 3 main checkpoints to both assess the internal state of the cell as well as to integrate such external signals. And in this session, we will focus in answering these questions. How are appropriate decisions to enter the S phase or the M phase made? Ano-ano yung mga mechanisms that are involved in order for us to pass through the checkpoints and proceeding to the next? And how do we pass through the checkpoints? Kasi alam natin na checkpoints are important because they preserve, no, kanina, yung genomic stability na tinatawag natin. No, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-proceed dun sa next process unless the cell is at its best condition. No? Walang damage yung DNA natin, kompleto yung kailangan natin so that we can proceed to the next. But for this session, we will focus in detail how are we making that decision. Paano nakakapag-decision yung cell natin? Anong mechanism yung involved? Now, take note na these transitions from G1 to S, G2 to M, these transitions depend on the activation of a type of protein which we call the cyclin-dependent kinases. Okay. Now, when we say kinase ending in ASE, ibig sabihin ito ay isang enzyme. Pag sinabi natin kinase, ito yung mga enzymes na nagka-catalyze ng isang reaction. Wherein yung reaction na yun, nagta-transfer tayo ng isang phosphate group from ATP at ibinibigay natin siya sa isa pang molecule. Yung process na yun, we call that phosphorylation. So, pag sinabi natin phosphorylation, meaning, with the help of this enzyme, wait a minute. Yan. With the help of this enzyme, tinatransfer daw natin yung isang phosphate group mula kay ATP at binibigay natin siya dun sa isang protein. No? Yung protein na yan, it depends no, kung anong type ng protein. But when we say phosphorylation, we are removing one phosphate group from ATP and we are transferring it to this protein. Kaya, at the end of this reaction, at the end of phosphorylation, meron tayong tinatawag na phosphorylated protein. Yan. So, makikita natin, yung nakakabit na P, yan yung phosphate group na tinanggal natin from ATP. So, si ATP, nung tinanggal natin siya ng isang phosphate group, naging ADP. So, this is the mechanism. Now, this is the primary molecular mechanism of the cell cycle control points. So, phosphorylation yung tawag natin doon. Alright, now, what does a phosphorylation do to a protein? So, bakit importante yung phosphorylation? Now, phosphorylation changes the shape and function of a certain protein by changing its charges. Kasi halimbawa, yung protein na to, inactive. Minsan, yung cell natin, ginagamit yung process ng phosphorylation para ma-activate yung certain proteins. Alright? Now, talking about charges, sabi ko kanina, yung phosphorylation, binabago niya yung shape at function ng isang protein by changing its charges. Nabanggit na rin natin previously, na charges are very important. Kahit isang difference lang, positive or negative charge, in a single protein, mababago niya na yung function ng protein na yun or any other molecule. Now, applying this to our topic, the phosphorylation of a protein can either activate or inactivate it. So, halimbawa, yung protein na to na nandito sa ating example, halimbawa, inactivated protein siya. For us to activate this protein, kailangan natin yung process ng phosphorylation. Kailangan natin mag-transfer sa kanya ng phosphate group. Or pwede rin namang baligtad, no? Gusto natin siyang i-inactivate. So, it depends. Kumbaga, yung phosphorylation, it's a mechanism for us to either activate or inactivate a protein. So, in our case, yung sinabi ko kanina na cyclin-dependent kinases or yung CDK, they are the enzymes responsible in accomplishing that phosphorylation in the context of our cell cycle. Now, yung mga CDKs na yun, minsan, like for example, may mga kinase kasi na hindi sila active. Okay, like for example, yung CDK natin kanina, yung cyclin-dependent kinase, hindi sila active by themselves, but they need to bind to a second type of protein para ma-activate sila, para magamit natin sila in phosphorylating a single protein. Yan, so this is what I am telling you. Na yung CDK natin, CDK is an enzyme. So, cyclin-dependent kinase. Again, ang kinase, siya yung nagka-catalyze ng reaction, yung phosphorylation. So, sabi ko kanina, yung CDKs, they are not active by themselves and they need to bind to a second type of protein which we call the cyclin. Now, CDK, take note, it's always present in the cell, pero yung active site ng enzyme na ito ay hindi exposed. Pag hindi exposed yung active site nito, ibig sabihin hindi siya activated. So, kailangan para magamit natin si CDK, yung kinase na yan, to phosphorylate a protein, kailangan muna nating i-activate si CDK. Kumbaga, tulog pa siya, no? Kailangan pa natin siyang painumin ng kape. So, in this case, in this analogy, yung cyclin yung ating kape. Ngayon, in the cell cycle, hindi po palaging present si cyclin. Ang palaging present sa cell cycle ay si CDK kasi siya yung enzyme. Hindi po laging present si cyclin. Gagawin lang ng katawan ng cell yung cyclin kapag kailangan na. So, nakalagay dito, the cyclin protein is made only at a certain point in the cell cycle. Now, in order to activate the CDK, in order na ma-expose natin yung active site ng CDK, yung active site kasi, yun yung portion ni CDK para sa kung saan doon magbabind sa kanya yung protein na kailangan nating i-activate. Okay, so halimbawa, ito yung blue. So, yung protein na yan, kailangan natin siyang i-phosphorylate. Sabi natin kanina, so, halimbawa, itong blue, yan yung protein natin ngayon. Sabi natin, para ma-activate natin yung protein na to with the help of kinase, sa example natin, with the help of CDK, no, kailangan natin siyang i-phosphorylate. Pero, for that to happen, si CDK, kailangan may mag-bind muna sa kanyang cyclin. Once cyclin is able to bind with CDK, ma-expose ngayon yung active site ni CDK. Pag na-expose na yung active site ni CDK, itong bilog na to, ibig sabihin, ready na si CDK na mag-phosphorylate ng protein. So, ginagawa yun ni CDK by yung ATP, tatanggalan natin ng isang phosphate group at ililipat natin dito sa protein na to. So, pagkakabit ni protein kay CDK na active na, mangyayari na yung exchange. So, from ATP, bibigay natin yung isang phosphate group, magiging phosphorylated protein na siya. Ito, yung kulay yellow na nandito, that's our phosphate group. So, si ATP natin kanina, naging ADP na siya kasi tinanggalan natin siya ng phosphate group. So, meanwhile, itong ating phosphorylated protein, ito na yung magdidictate ng stage ng cell cycle. Or if we will pass through a certain checkpoint. Now, each CDK has specific target proteins. Itong pinapakita natin, ito lang yung in general, no? Kung paano nagwo-work yung cyclin-dependent kinase at saka yung cyclin in terms of phosphorylating a protein. Okay, na either active or inactive, na kailangan nating i-activate or i-inactivate. So, take note, there are different cyclin CDK combinations that act at various stages of the cell cycle. So, makikita natin dito, meron tayong cyclin E na nag-a-attach kay CDK2, acting in the middle of G1, papunta ng S phase. So, ibig sabihin, kapag gagaling tayo ng G1, pupunta na tayo ng S phase, tsaka lang dadami yung cyclin E para mag-bind sa CDK2. In the phase naman na S phase papunta sa G2, hindi naman cyclin E, pero cyclin A naman yung magbabind kay CDK2. So, here you can see na there are multiple cyclins that bind to a specific type of CDK. So, iba-iba yan. And makikita natin dito na in different subphases of the cell cycle, tumataas lang yung amount ng cyclin. Depende sa kung saan siya kailangan. So, halimbawa, dito, yung G1 to S cyclin natin, kailangan natin siya sa checkpoint, no? Doon lang siya mag-i-increase ng number. So, bababa din yan kapag wala na tayo sa G1 to S phase. So, pinapakita lang natin dito how they differ from one combination to another. So, the levels of the different cyclins, they vary across the cell cycle, which is what I'm showing you in this diagram. And a typical cyclin, for example, is present commonly at low levels in the cycle, but it increases strongly at the stage where it is needed, kapag kailangan na siya. Alright? Now, if you can remember, the G1 to S checkpoint, this is the primary point wherein the cell decides whether it will divide or not. No? Kapag tayo ay nakapass through doon sa G1 to S checkpoint, mataas na yung probability na magpo-proceed tayo sa cell division, na magde-divide yung cell. Kumbaga, siya yung pinaka-importanteng checkpoint, yung G1 to S checkpoint. Now, the key to progress past this restriction point Tinatawag natin siyang restriction point kasi checkpoint nga siya, no? Hindi ka pwede makapasok, hindi ka pwede makaproceed kung hindi ka kompleto, kung hindi maayos yung DNA. Now, the key to progress past this is a protein which we call the retinoblastoma protein or RB protein. Now, but before I go into that RB protein, balikan ulit natin to. Sabi natin kanina, si CDK, inactive siya kapag walang cyclin. Pero pag si cyclin nandyan na, lumalabas na yung kanyang active site, it is able now to phosphorylate a protein. Ngayon, yung protein na to, sabi natin kanina na pwedeng active siya or inactive. So, no? Depende. Now, in relation to what I said about the restriction point, meron tayong tinatawag na retinoblastoma protein or RB na lang. Tawagin natin siyang RB protein. Si RB protein, balik tayo dito. Yan. So, si RB protein, ini-inhibit niya yung cell cycle. Okay? Nandun siya sa G1 to S checkpoint. Going here, may kita natin na yan, to sa restriction point. So, si RB protein, nandito yan. Nandito yan sa phase na yan. Bago tayo pumunta ng S phase, bago natin i-replicate si DNA, si RB protein, ini-inhibit niya normally yung cell cycle. So, pag present, pag active si RB protein, pag nakakabit si RB protein, pag present siya sa cell cycle, ibig sabihin, hindi magtutuloy yung cell cycle. Nakatigil, halted. No? Para siyang, what do you call that? Kapag halimbawa yung pintuan, no, para hindi siya magsara. No, 'di ba may nilalagay kayo sa ilalim ng pinto para siya ay manatiling bukas, parang gano'n. So, gano'n yung purpose ni RB protein. So, tinatawag ding tumor suppressor yung RB protein na yon, yung retinoblastoma protein. Kasi ini-inhibit nga niya yung cell cycle. So, bakit siya tumor suppressor? Kasi pag sinabi nating tumor, yung cancer cells, nagde-divide siya actively. So, sino-suppress ng RB na mag-divide yung cell? No? Suppressor siya. Now, take note, pero kapag yung RB na yon ay phosphorilate natin with the help of cyclin CDK, nagiging inactivated si RB. Pag inactivated si RB, wala nang magbablock dito sa restriction point. Pag in-inactivate natin si RB by phosphorylation, by this process, yan, ito si RB, no? Pag in-inactivate natin, active kasi siya in the cell. Pag active siya sa cell, ibig sabihin, hindi tumutuloy si cell cycle, halted si cell cycle. Ngayon, in order for us to pass through the restriction point para mag-divide yung cell, kailangan i-inhibit natin si RB. No? So, there is a double negative here, kung makikita ninyo. Na si RB, yung protein na example natin, ini-inhibit niya yung cell cycle. Ngayon, kung gusto nating magtuloy si cell cycle, kailangan i-inhibit natin yung inhibitor. Kasi nga, si RB, siya yung inhibitor. No? Pag present siya, nakatigil si cell cycle. So, para mag-proceed si cell cycle, kailangan nating i-inactivate si RB with the help of kinase, with the help of cyclin CDK. Alright? Yan. So, again, how is that happen? So, for example, so in this case, pinapakita ko naman sa diagram na to, ito yung G1 natin. Papunta tayo ngayon, papunta tayo ng S phase. Bago tayo makapunta ng S phase, nandito tayo sa restriction point, nandito tayo sa G1 to S checkpoint. Sabi natin kanina, si RB, ito, yan, yung RB protein natin, si retinoblastoma protein. Pag present siya sa cell, ibig sabihin nakatigil yung cell cycle, halted. Kaya nakikita natin dito, off. Now, in order for us to turn this on, para makapass through tayo, makapunta tayo ng S phase, kailangan nating i-inhibit si RB. Kailangan natin siyang i-inactivate. No? Kailangan natin siyang tanggalin dito para makapass through tayo sa restriction point. Now, that happens only if we are able to phosphorylate si RB with the help of cyclin CDK. Paano yun gagawin? Applying this, yung phosphorylation, this one. So, si CDK in this example, To, si CDK, yan. So, bibigyan niya, with the help of cyclin, of course, yung cyclin CDK, in order to inactivate RB, in order to inhibit RB, para magtuloy tayo sa cell cycle, kakabitan natin si RB ng phosphate group through the process of phosphorylation. So, yung phosphate group na yun, manggagaling sa isang ATP, bibigay natin kay RB. Kaya, makikita natin dito, si RB, phosphorylated na siya, may nakakabit na sa kanyang phosphate group. So, itong dalawang phosphate group na to, nanggaling yan sa dalawang ATP. So, we spent an ATP here. So, there is always a spending of ATP, no, in order for a cell process or a cellular process to occur. So, ibig sabihin, kapag phosphorylated na si RB, ibig sabihin, inactivated na siya. We are able to progress past the restriction point, the G1 to S checkpoint. Kaya makikita natin dito, pagdating ng S phase, naka-on na. Ibig sabihin, magpo-proceed na tayo sa cell cycle. So, si RB kasi, binablock niya yung restriction point, binablock niya yung G1 to S checkpoint. Okay? So, take note, yung progression na yun, na dinedescribe natin kanina, that is controlled by specific checkpoints to ensure nga na the critical events at each phase are completed before the cell can move to the next phase. So, ito yung sinasabi natin kanina na si RB, pag present siya in the cell, yan, ibig sabihin, hindi magpo-proceed yung cell cycle. Pero, in order for RB to be inactivated para makapag-proceed tayo, ito yung restriction point, yung R. Yan. Para makapag-proceed tayo dito sa S phase, yung blue, kailangan nating i-inactivate si RB. Ini-inactivate natin si RB with the help of these combinations. Cyclin D, CDK4. So, okay. So, makikita natin dito na si cyclin D at saka si cyclin E, nagbabind sila kay cyclin 4, CDK4 and CDK2. Sila yung nagpo-phosphorylate kay RB. Ngayon, sila yung mag-a-attach ng phosphate group kay RB. Kaya, passing through the restriction point, passing through the G1 to S checkpoint, makita natin si RB, phosphorylated siya. Pag phosphorylated na si RB, ibig sabihin we can proceed to the next phases of the cell cycle. Now, take note, if you look at the diagram, meron tayong tinatawag na P21. Okay? Or meron din tayong cyclin D. Yan. So, si cyclin D, again, siya yung nagbabind kay CDK4. But I want you to focus on the P21. So, P21 is a protein that stops the cell cycle kapag may damage yung DNA. So, si P21, para rin siyang RB in a case na tinitigil nila si cell cycle. Tinatawag silang tumor suppressors, right? So, si P21, again, it stops the cell cycle kapag may damage yung DNA. Now, for example, may damage yung DNA natin by radiation, for example. Si cell, magpo-produce yan ng P21. Okay? And then, si P21, magbabind siya kanino? Doon sa ating CDK4 at saka CDK2. Alright? Pag si P21, nagbind kay CDK4 at kay CDK2, hindi na makakapag-bind si cyclin sa kanila. Kapag hindi nag-bind si cyclin kay CDK, hindi natin mapho-phosphorylate si RB. Right? Pag hindi na phosphorylate si RB, hindi tayo makakapag-pass through ng cell cycle. Kaya, tumor suppressor din si P21. Tinitigil niya yung cell cycle. Ang mechanism nga lang ni P21, si P21, imbis na cyclin yung magbabind kay CDK4, inuunahan na ni P21 si CDK4. Inuunahan na ni P21 si cyclin D na mag-bind kay CDK4. Okay, as well as kay CDK2. Kasi nga, pag hindi nag-join tong dalawang to, hindi nila mapho-phosphorylate si RB. So, si P21, yan. Napoproduce lang naman si P21 kapag may damage yung DNA. Kumbaga, kailangan nating emergency patigilin yung cell cycle. So, malalabas si P21. Okay, but then again, pag wala si P21, wala namang damage yung DNA, walang dahilan para itigil yung cell cycle, mapophosphorylate natin si RB with the help of these combinations. Passing through the restriction point. So, the cell cycle proceeds. Now, I want you to take note na because cancer cells results from inappropriate cell division, itong cyclin CDK control natin sa mga cancer cells, they are disrupted. Alright? Now, for example, sa isang fast-growing for example, breast cancer, yan, breast cancer cells. Yung mga breast cancer cells, marami silang cyclin D. They overstimulate, they overproduce cyclin D. Okay, si cyclin D, syempre, kapag mas maraming cyclin D, yung cyclin D na yun yung magbabind kay CDK4. Pag nagbind silang dalawa, ma-phosphorylate si RB. Walang titigil, walang magi-inhibit ng cell cycle. So, isa yun sa mga parang defect in cancer cells. May overproduction of cyclin D. And again, si cyclin D, pag nagbind yan kay CDK4, mapophosphorylate nila si RB. Pag phosphorylated si RB, tuloy-tuloy ang cell cycle. Alright? Now, here's a fun fact, not so fun fact. So, the one that I'm showing you here, this is a breast cancer cell. Particularly ito, yan, yung DCIS. So, DCIS meaning ductal carcinoma in situ. So, pag sinabi nating DCIS, this is the earliest form of breast cancer in women as well as in men. And makikita natin dito, there is a presence of abnormal cells. Yan, sila yun. In the milk duct in the breast. Now, in relation to cancer and what we've talked about, more than half of all human cancers contain defective P53. So, si P53, protein din yan, resulting in the absence of cell cycle control. So, si P53 kasama ni P21 and RB, they are tumor suppressors. They normally block the cell cycle. So, importante tong tatlong to. Pag wala sila, tuloy-tuloy yung cell cycle, regardless kung merong error or wala. So, they are very important tumor suppressors. Now, sa mga human cancers, mostly, okay, meron silang mga defective P53. Pag defective yung P53, si P53 kasi siya yung what do you call this? It prevents normal cells from dividing kasi pag present si P53, ino-overstimulate niya yung production ni P21. Pinoproduce niya si P21. Eh, di ba si P21 kanina, important siya sa pagtigil ng cell cycle kapag may damage yung DNA. Ngayon, kung sa isang cancerous cell, defective yung P53, eh di walang magkocontrol ng ating cell cycle. Walang pipigil dahil may damage. Kumbaga, pag defective yung P53 ng isang cancer cell, kahit may damage yung cell, magde-divide yan at magde-divide. Kaya tinatawag na tumor suppressors tong mga proteins na ito. So, again, cancer cells, they divide inappropriately kasi nga, minsan, number one, they make their own growth factors. Kaya nilang gawin yun. Tayo, nagde-divide lang yung cell natin pag may growth factor, halimbawa sa sugat. Okay, or, sa cancer cells, minsan, hindi na kailangan ng growth factors ng mga cancer cells just for them to divide. Kumbaga may sarili silang mundo. At yun nga, defective mostly yung mga normal na tumor suppressors na tumitigil or pumipigil sa cell cycle. So, this is how fast a cancer cell reproduces. Yan. So, let me share with you this video on how tinatawag nating tumor suppressor gene regulation is occurring in cancer cells.
Cancer is a disease in which cells divide uncontrollably. Over the past 30 years, detailed studies have shown that genes, such as tumor suppressor genes, are often destroyed by DNA mutations, allowing cancer cells to grow. In recent studies of certain breast cancers, it has been observed that parts of the DNA that control tumor suppressor genes are frequent targets of cancer mutations. First, let's explore a normal cell, which is not dividing. Inside the nucleus of the cell, transcription factors are constantly scanning the DNA for their binding sites. The transcription factor moves along the double helix until it encounters a place where the nucleotide pattern is in the exact sequence for it to stick. Once the exact sequence is found, the transcription factor changes shape and binds tightly to the DNA. This binding allows the important tumor suppressor gene to be expressed. Many proteins then stick to the transcription factor and form a protein machine to make RNA for the tumor suppressor gene. This production prevents the cell from dividing. Now let's explore a cancer cell. Like all cancer cells, this cell divides when it is not supposed to. Inside the nucleus, the transcription factor searches the DNA for its binding site. Different types of cancer have unique mutations. In this specific type of breast cancer, the binding site has been mutated. The altered nucleotide pattern is not recognized by the transcription factor. It passes by without sticking. Without the transcription factor binding, the gene stays inactive and the critical tumor suppressor gene is not expressed. The cancer cells continue to divide without control. Over time, more mutations accumulate, causing the cancer to grow faster and faster.
Now, in the video, sinasabi dito, itong, for example, yung E2F tsaka yung DP, sila ay mga transcription factors na kapag daw, they aren't able to detect doon sa DNA, yung portion ng DNA na kung saan kailangan silang mag-bind, no? Pag hindi sila nag-bind doon sa specific part ng DNA na yon, hindi makakapag-produce ng mga tumor suppressors. Kaya makikita natin dito, intact yung ating transcription factors, which is si E2F at si DP, nang kasama si RB protein, wherein si RB protein, tagatigil siya ng cell cycle. That's why, in order to pass through, no, para makapag-divide yung cell, kailangan tanggalin natin si RB. It's just that, sa mga cancer cells, itong E2F tsaka yung DP, hindi nila nahahanap yung part ng DNA na kung saan sila ay mag-a-act on para makapag-produce tayo ng mga tumor suppressors. Hindi lang si RB, as well as yung P53 tsaka yung P21. So, ganun, nakaka-apekto yung mga mutations sa DNA natin. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng diseases, nagkakaroon tayo ng cancer. Now, let me show you another video how cancer divides naman, or how cancer spreads in our body.
Our bodies are made up of 100 million cells. They're so small you can fit 100 cells on the top of a pinhead. Most cells have a nucleus, cytoplasm, and cell membrane. The nucleus is the cell's control centre and holds the cell's DNA. Your DNA carries all the instructions needed to build your body and maintain its functions. Each instruction is carried on a unique piece of DNA called a gene. Cell growth and multiplication is part of a continual process called the cell cycle. To move through the different stages of the cell cycle, each cell has to go through a series of checkpoints. These checkpoints act a bit like traffic lights, and they only give the green light to a cell that's ready to go through to the next stage in the cycle. Only healthy cells are allowed to multiply, and so the cell cycle must control which cells are allowed through. The DNA inside cells can sometimes be damaged, either by mistakes in the normal processes in our cells or by things in our lifestyles or environment. Damaged cells are stopped at checkpoints and either repaired or destroyed. But occasionally damaged cells can find a way to sneak through. And sometimes the faulty DNA instructions may tell the cell to multiply at the wrong time or in the wrong place. If a cell accumulates too much damage over time, it can become a cancer cell. They then multiply out of control to form a lump or tumour. This is how cancer starts.
So I hope you're able to get the idea behind how cancer cells are applied in our topic, which is the cell cycle or the cell division. So makikita natin dito na mitosis isn't just mitosis, meiosis isn't just meiosis, but behind that, actually prior those processes, merong important mechanism yung cell natin to prevent damages from accumulating, to prevent our cells from parang reproducing kung sila ay may damage. And again, ang mechanism behind that is through the phosphorylation of certain proteins like tong mga tumor suppressors natin. So if you have questions, you may message me regarding this topic. But then again, it shows us how are we making important decisions for us to enter one phase to another, at ano yung mechanism involved so that we could pass through the checkpoints at para makapag-proceed tayo dun sa susunod. So that's how important cell cycle checkpoints are in terms of preserving, again, the genomic stability of the cell. Now, for the next session, we will talk about naman yung ating mitosis and meiosis. So please read about it and prepare for our PCL. So yung PCL natin or yung peer collaborative learning, by group naman siya na I will assign prior we have an activity, but I want you to study each phase of mitosis and meiosis. Now you can focus on what happens in each phases. So that's all for this discussion, for this session. Thank you.